Oh, wrong one. Wait a sec. Yes, everybody, Russ in the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. If you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a bloody good subscribe. It is Friday. We have done another week, my friends. Congratulations. But as we always do on a Friday, it's Have Your Say Friday. Have your say. You can come in, have a chat, talk about what you want to talk about. I'm sure there's we've sort of gone with one topic because I think that's one topic which is on everyone's mind at the moment in terms of Julian Lopetegui, in terms of what do we give him. You know, what's the general consensus? Some people want him gone now. Tony Cottee wants him gone now. Some people are willing to give him more time. How long is more time? And actually, Irish Tommy is talking about this a little bit later on in a bit more detail, saying in his late show, which will be tonight, saying the Lopetegui bullying needs to stop. So quite profound there from young Irish Thomas. And what does need to stop is you buying the mugs. They are flying off the shelves. Literally, we only have a few left. So if you want to get involved, you want to get your mug, the one on the left, not on the right, of course, then I'll put a link in the chat, which is a direct link to the PayPal. It's a tenner plus a couple of quid for the pack, the postaging, and that's for the UK. If you're outside of the UK and you want to buy one, then let me know. Drop me a line at westhamnetwork@gmail.com, and we'll get you some ideas in terms of how much it is in terms of postage to international waters. Don't I look happy there? Look how happy I look. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's get through some comments. One channel has a rumor Tim wants out. I did read. I have seen that. I haven't watched the video yet, but I did see that. Another world exclusive. Bless him. It's from the World Exclusive channel, which means it's well. He'll get one right eventually. Well, love Jazz. He's probably got until the next international break minimum to turn it around, or at least showing signs of improvement. Well, the international break comes into effect after the game against Ipswich at next weekend. So obviously, then we've got 2 weeks, and we've got Spurs back. And during the international week, literally in the last hour, I have secured a very, very exciting ex-player interview. For anyone who's a channel member, you get every month you get one as well, and we've got Sebastian Shemeral coming on an intimate chat with the members next week, and on next Thursday we should have a ex-Hammer for everyone, and then the international break the week after that, week commencing the 7th. Someone a popular player I've never heard talk, let alone be interviewed. So, bit of a coup for the West Ham Network. We'll keep that one under wraps a little bit, and let you know nearer the time. Everyone knew it wasn't going to be perfect from the start, but all seems no signs of improvement is worrying. Whether it's new, I've seen green shoots. I've seen some, not enough for my liking. I think the Liverpool game we saw better passage of play when we had the ball, but from a defensive, I think we had more shape. Certainly we seemed to have more shape against Liverpool than we did against Chelsea, which is ironic because we lost 5-3 rather than 3-0. But for me, I did see whether that was the inclusion of Todibo, but then still you had Soufal and Cresswell, more old school defenders maybe, but you won't see that. It'll be a different setup for the game tomorrow. We did have a tough start. We did, and again, I showed these stats the other day. Just in terms of that one I want. We've got sort of where we were last year to where we are this year. Liverpool was 5-5 as well, and we lost 5-1 and 5-1. There's no speed. There's been no significant step change with the signings coming in. But then again, we haven't seen any significant. I still don't think we've seen any significant difference with how the team's set up. We've had a massive changeover of players as well. So to maintain the status quo at the moment, probably that's why we did our weekly podcast to the channel members, and I put us down as a C minus in terms of how I rated the season so far, which I think is probably about right. 5 out of 10. It's pretty meh at the moment, and hopefully, maybe in the next couple of games, might see a bit of improvement. Playing well, bits and bobs. Yeah, will be the deadline. I think the lack of depth worries me. I don't think we've got lack of depth. I think we've got too many in some other. I think there's a slight imbalance in that midfield area in terms of lots of players who could play there. Obviously, we got rid of one as well in terms of sending them out on loan. We sold one in terms of Flynn Down. So I think we've actually got some depth. We've got people out on loan, obviously, we recalled as well, like Freddie, if we needed to. But I think we're all right. I think, with Imrich Alvarez suspended for tomorrow, we've still got about 4 or 5 different connotations in terms of how I've got a really itchy foot. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to itch it on the carpet. Anyway. So I don't think we're all right. Aren't scared to play us. We need to be mean. I agree with flippy floppy loppy fans. There we go. Flip loppy. That's it. If he plays Rodders, we'll get absolutely battered. I don't think we will if we play Rodders in the right position. I think if Rodders comes in and plays that Alvarez role, that's okay. But the trouble is you can't play him and Alvarez doing the same thing. So naturally, Alvarez plays the Alvarez role. Rodriguez play, well, not now because he's injured, but Rodriguez would play ahead of him, and it didn't work. Going to be Souček, I think, also there. Oh, mate. Or we could go another way. Did read today that Brentford are missing 8 players. They are indeed. They are missing the likes of De Silva, Wissa, Gomez, Matthias Jensen, Christian Norgard, Rico Henry, Aaron Hickey, and Igor. But most of them have been ruled out for a long time anyway. So Wissa's obviously a good one to miss, but they still got Embor around anyway. Scores against us. Doesn't matter how many. We only need about 50% to get a result. 11 would have to go. So I'm just going through these a bit. I've always said I give him 10 to 15 games, and then to see where we are at, I think that's fair enough. Let's see what happens when Falco is fit. Potentially could be after the international break. That's the only issue there, Toby. In terms of a starting berth, he might be on the bench tomorrow. I don't think he will start. He's not fit enough, I think, to start. He might be on the bench. I don't think he will be, though. Maybe he might be on the bench for the Ipswich game, potentially. I don't think he is. I think he won't. Even if he's called up by Germany, I don't think he'll... I think he's still recovering from the injury, so I don't think he'll go out to Germany for the international break. And then potentially the Tottenham game is when he's been earmarked. But we'll talk about that more in Hammer's headlines. Not just about the goals, we need someone to hold up top. That's what I mean, Toby, as well. Yeah, for me, it's like, and I talk about it, in Hammer's headlines and stuff. But for me, having someone like Fulkrug up, it's not necessarily, he's not going to beat people for blistering pace. It's the hold up, it's the link up play, but it's also commanding more defenders, which means there'll be space on the wings for the likes of Bowen, Kudus, Somerville to exploit. That's what I want to see. We had the players to give him the chances to score. That's not the issue. We can't expect him to come deep and then go on a mazy run. That's why he doesn't do that. Move on. Apparently, we're sniffing around for Europe. We are. That's what I said today. He could be available on a reasonably cheap deal, potentially. Same as Jonathan David, who enters the final 6 months of his contract in January. West Ham have been asked to keep aware of that situation. And again, maybe you could get a cheap deal there potentially as well. I'd love to get Again. Again, he's one of the highest performing players in the league at the moment, Matt. Just shows you plan with different how it all works. Going to lose Paqueta and Jam. Possibly we could do. Good to have the money. I can't see us resolved until I think January is when we're looking to get that resolved. Yeah, indeed. We need a mug with your mug in it. Your mug. That's why I put Danny Dyer on the front. Because your mug. Actually, the other day, after the game, I actually let him go past me in his car. That's how nice I was. What, Ross? What, Dan? I'm such a nice guy. Adam, I think J-Lo needs to be given the time to get things right. We've had a tough run in shots into. So, and yeah, I mean, the flip side is everyone's had the same had it, but I just think there's and for everything one person says, there's always a counterbalance. I will look at the other new managers that come in. I think, with the exception of, I mean, you've got the Brighton manager who's done well. A little bit of a turnover, not much of a changeover in personnel. Arnie Schlott's and I think one player brought in. We've had that 22-man swing from players in and out, which is a huge amount. So we shall see. It's a panel. They just need to think he is guilty. Russ, mate. So what I know, Loppy, very soon will be given the heave. Right, Russ. So what I know, Loppy, very soon will be given the heave ho. I think there's definitely pressure on him, the pressure on any manager. But as soon as you don't perform, every game goes past, the pressure mounts up. It does, and it should do. You know, I've seen people come out and say, "Oh, the board aren't happy." Well, we're not happy. The board can't be happy. They've got 4 points in 6 games. Granted, the teams we played, or 5 games, or whatever it is now, they are, of course, they won't be happy. They've seen an investment which hasn't come to fruition yet. So things need to change. They need an upturn in results. Arguably, Brentford no mugs, Ipswich no mugs, but they're no Man City, and they're no Aston Villa, no Chelsea. Let's be honest, in terms of the current where we are now. So you would be expecting to get results or points from both of those games. I think if we don't get anything over the next couple of games, then I think it's very, the pressure gets even more ramped up. But so I made a really good point in one of the videos we did. If he needs his time to blend the side in, if we got rid of him and got another manager, got a manager, another head coach, they'll need 10 games to, surely they'll need that time to blend in the players which they haven't been involved with bringing in. So actually, in a weird way, you could be in a worse position by bringing in. Hindsight's a great thing. And people are criticising the manager, the head coach now, who weren't criticising him at the beginning of August. Very happy about the appointment, and now they're criticising him, but only criticising him because of results aren't going their way. And I never wanted him. Never wanted him. You didn't say that when we signed him. You were quite happy. So that's the issue for me. Give him till Christmas. If not in the top half, it must be going. But but bring back David Moyes. Oh God. See you in 5 more league games. Good afternoon, Peter. It's my imagination. It is your imagination. Only a few months left. Relax. If we're in bottom form of the new year, then the new same will as we were with Moyes. Give them time. You got your veggies before you eat the sweets. Always eat the veggies first. Get them out of the way. He has to go after the defeat against Brentford on Saturday, as he is clueless and out of his depth. So, Peter, who are you going to bring him? I'm just fascinated to know who you bring back in, and don't say the word David Moyes, because I don't think realistically that would be an option. I'd give Loppy till Christmas, but by the way, in the next 3 games, well, Peter says wants him sacked if he loses. Thought we lost 2-1 to Villa this year, not 3-1. Possibly. Maybe I put it in wrong. Yeah, we did. Yeah, well, anyway, regardless of that, that's a better result. We have -4 goal difference rather than -3. Felt like I've been here before. All that money spent and can't make a team. Thoughts on Irvine? I think he's great. You maybe bought some new shoes. Lucky me. It's a must-win game to my opinion. Is a placeholder that finds the right man. Well, it's 2 years plus a third year if he gets into Europe. So, my foot is so itchy. That is it should be 3 years. Granted, he's not. Maybe I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know any. Maybe they give him Will still another couple of years. I don't know. I think that will always be part of a vision for someone like him to come in, because he is young. And they see, they liked, the vision of having Eddie Howe or someone like that. That was never going to happen. So we'll see. We play with so-called longer injury, it's still lost. If Loppy wants to go, who do Loppy? Yeah, exact. That's what I don't. People will say Graham Potter, possibly, but he was available when we appointed Lopetegui. So was he ever part of the process? Was he not? Is he now the fullback guy? I don't know. I don't know. We do need a holiday. We'll get that. We have heard of players only being out for weeks, turns to months. Indeed. What do you think of Jazz saying Tim is leaving? Well, I haven't watched it. But in the day, if that's what he says, then there has to be some evidence to back that up. Surely, a win at Palace, a draw at Fulham, and a win. Yes, haven't been great, but we can't expect miracles after 4 years. I still think a lot of the current squad who played under Moyes still have this sort of like ingrained philosophy in their minds. Hopefully, the lack of pressure in the high line. How give him? Well, it's your choice, mate. Your choice, my friends. Afternoon run. Let's hope there's something to cheer about. Let's hope so, my friend. I'll back while he's here, but if he goes, but then Amarin has he signed a new deal with Sporting Lisbon? I mean, again, we try. If we tried to get him before, why didn't we get him then? Fernando Palmeiras is an interesting one. Come the end of, if it was at Christmas, for example, then obviously the Brazilian Serie A is finished. So, possibly. But then, he's often been called like the next Jose Mourinho. And so, the style of football, I don't know. If Loppy's got KPIs to make fans, yeah, good point. Abel will be reunited with Guilherme, possibly. Russ! If we happen to lose against Ipswich, how do you feel then? Rubbish, mate, Colin. I feel rubbish then, mate. For me, it's like, I always back the manager or the head coach, and that's just me. And some people aren't. That's me. I always see, I always see positives. I know it frustrates some people, but that's what we do. And we try and offer a different perspective because we offer different, so there's something for everyone across social media. And we tend to be more of a positive based channel. But, positivity does run out. And, Liverpool was awful. The scoreline, I don't think it really reflected the game as much as a 5-1. The Chelsea game was awful. There wasn't one player, wasn't one fan, one player on the pitch, West Ham player, everyone in the club who came away with any sort of real positives from that Chelsea game. We were rubbish. We got dealt a new one, didn't we? But I still think we've got, I still think that Brentford we're going to pick something up tomorrow. I still think Ipswich we're going to win. Spurs away, it's always a lottery. Man United at home, I think it's going to be a real test as well. But every game's going to be a test. There's no easy games. Even Ipswich at home, it's not an easy game. Get your tickets to see Russ play Henry. I know, I do. I know. I'm not well. I've whatever Anton had, I've got that at the moment. Must have communicated it like one of those computer viruses, isn't it? And I need to get my hair cut as well. Doesn't matter who the manager is. People will keep talking about Moyes. Well, he has been our most successful. Let's be honest. In modern times, he's been our most successful West Ham manager. Now, Julian Lopetegui is a head coach, which is different. We won't get Amarin too expensive release clause. Moyes returns and they'll win the Champions League next year. The players in and out is exclusive against Chelsea. It was 8 starts from last season. He fouled at Real Madrid and one of the most exciting, talented teams in decades. Needs to go. West Ham YouTube user, hope you're well. I bet he's back by Christmas. What is comforting with head manager changes? That is a good shout. I mean, the fact is, it'll be the way we're set up. It allows for us to change the head coach position relatively unscathed. Obviously, it doesn't mean bringing in a whole new coaching setup if that ever happened. But unlike a manager, which brings in everything, with the setup of the head coach, there's still continuity between the football head director, football technical director, whatever you should see. The club should have bought him Amarin, but they didn't. Russ, come on! Never wanted, but we got behind him. I don't know what the answer is, but surely someone can. Ralph, we don't need it's not a manager, it's a head coach. I expect you to put £1 in for the food banks, please. Diving Day didn't play with release clauses. Give him until Christmas. We just need some time. Anything is better than Moyes. Bar the trophy was truly awful. Got us into Europe 3 years in consecutive seasons. First time ever in our history. First time ever we had consecutive top 6, 7 finishes as well, I believe. In the Premier League, didn't do too bad. Football wasn't great, but it was pragmatic and it got results. How and when goes through a business decision and probably not a knee jerk. I totally agree. Why are you banging on them? Because Moyes would always get brought up when he always does. Rodgers from Celtic, Brendan. I mean, Sullivan's always wanted Brendan Rodgers. But again, he's not a head coach. He's a manager. So to be honest, if you got in Brendan Rodgers, you'd probably get rid of Tim Snyder because Tim has worked under a manager. Under Dave Moyes, it hasn't worked. He has to work under a head coach. It's the new way of setting up. Can't play up front tomorrow, putting him on the wing. I totally agree. Russ met him, Toby. I thought so he did. I thought that was a weekly thing. Not happy with the appointment, but was prepared to give him a chance. But what I've seen so far, considering the squad, he should have been much better from like him. True. I mean, I think people were expecting it to just hit the ground running, and I think I was as well. As I said, we've seen a turnaround in the away results for sure. The two teams we've played, we conceded 10 goals against them last year. This time we got 4 points off them, which is an improvement. But I think from home, I think there's been. So that's why I put it as like a C- at the moment. But I feel like we've got, feels like this has been long. This will be a long season. Yep. And haven't got Europe. Does that make sense? It should be all right. Toby has very kindly gifted 5 West Ham Network memberships. And because of that, those 5 people will be entered into our monthly draws next month. We'll also get the Sebastian Schemmel interview live next week as well. Nice move. I could see Loppy goes floppy. Moyes coming back. Should have gone for Fonseca. Fonseca is doing shit at AC Milan, mate. So there's no justification of that being the right offer at all. Doing very poor. In fact, Moisey is potentially on the list of candidates to replace him. So as Tim said, he wants to leave. I haven't heard anything to the contrary to say that. Moyes wouldn't come back if we begged him. How about Mr. Magoo? There we go. Russ, my team! Why are you so aggressive, Colin? Ariola, AWB, Kelvin, Toledo, Somerville, Lucas Paqueta, Rodriguez, Bowen, Antonio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's exactly the side I've put together as a spoiler to the Predicted 11 show tomorrow. It's a good talker. That's about it. What I do like about him is he owns up. Doesn't blame everyone. If it's a mistake, he'll say, yeah, it's my mistake. That's what I didn't like about Moyes. It was always everyone else's mistake, but not him. Sullivan pulling the strings will never progress. Should have got rid of J. Should not got because he misses his set plays. I mean, he had a good game against the first game. It's Liverpool away. Then he was hauled off at half time last week. So I struggle to understand anything Loppy says. Me too. Beeps saying we should get Duran. Fact is we didn't, so it is what it is. I agree. It doesn't look good, but we need to sit together and hope. Exactly, Kev. We can go back. Ifs, buts, and maybes. Hindsight's a great thing. Everyone can look like a fucking football genius on hindsight. Hindsight, we shouldn't have got this player. We shouldn't have got this manager at that time. We should have invested. We should have brought him. That's not saying that it would have made any difference. Duran has had a great start to the season for Villa. But who would have said he would have had that same start when we played him? If we bought him, probably not. Amarin could have been a fantastic, but who's to say that he would have had a better start to the Lopetegui? You can't. Ifs, buts, and maybes. That is what is the West Ham motto. I really believe that we are suffering from the modern day thinking, not giving time to actually make a difference. Totally agree. Look at Arteta. Arteta, Arsenal were bottom like in the bottom in the relegation zones, weren't they, for several weeks. And if they'd shot the bullet, then they wouldn't have been. I mean, they haven't won anything, but they've had 2 very close runs in the Premier League, finishing second in 2 consecutive years. That wouldn't have happened if they'd bitten the bullet earlier. I'm not saying we're going to be in those top 2, top 3 positions, but I mean, Emery as well. I mean, look at Emery. Emery didn't start. He didn't start. He hit the ground running immediately with Villa. Areola for Bournemouth, the same. Now, the flip side is you look at the Brighton head coach. He's done great since he's come in. But that's the yin to the yang, isn't it? And people will take whatever subject they want, whatever side of the argument they want. The expectations that we need to see improvements so far seems genuinely nonsensical. I agree, Alex. I do agree, but football fans are, we're fickle. I think managers, head coaches, players live and die by their last performances. In that case, when people praise Antonio, Antonio hasn't scored in the Premier League for 7 games, but people praise him, and the same people who say that Lopetegui doesn't need time at the same time. So you can't pick and choose what battles you fight. I say drop the CDM role, make the midfield of energetic ball players. Press conferences are crap, never here, and Loppy turns. I don't like the press conferences because they're on a Thursday as well. I just think it's pointless. Apparently, Scupper do his deal on Amarin as he isn't at Waterhouse is the real problem. Who knows? I really enjoyed watching us with more of the ball. Quite frankly, we had a significant amount of chances created as shots. Indeed, there's a lot of very hormonal impatient. Indeed, don't forget to tap. Yeah. Actually, good point. Even if you're West Ham, where you have Loppy in, Loppy out, just gently caress that button, that like button. And if you're new around here, subscribe. Thank you. And we'll continue today's transmission. Thank you. Right, what we got here? I said it started, so I get started. Loppy and Duran out. I gave Russ a finger up. Up what? Still hung over from Moyes winning us. We just have to back our new coach. Stuart, I agree. And to be honest, even towards the end of the last year, I still back Moyes because he's the coach, he's the manager, and until otherwise, he's not the manager. Then you can then I start looking. So I look at the Moyes era now, and wasn't the most exciting football. It was pragmatic and gave us relative success for our in terms of what we've been used to as a club. But I think it was the right time to move on. Could have been a season earlier, potentially, but it wasn't. Again, if buts and maybes. If me auntie a bollock should be me uncle. It's my favourite saying, and it's true. The defence needs sorting. I think actually, randomly, I think the defence we're sort of there in a weird way, despite conceding 8 goals in the last 2 games. It's the midfield which needs sorting because there's no. If you watch the Liverpool game, Liverpool were passing through our midfield, and in essence, a lot of the decent play was from the defence, cross-field balls to the forward line, really. And so, it's about, and, looking at the Fulham game, don't know why I did that, but the Fulham game, we only improved when we brought on Paqueta as that sort of conduit between the defence and the attack. And that's what we need. It's that midfield balance. We're very unbalanced in midfield. So that's what I think we need to do. If you want to trigger someone, exactly. Social media blows everything out of proportion. Look at the managers of the past, never had to survive. Yep, totally agree. So Alex would have been sacked if he was at Man United now, before they even started any of the success. He was 1 game away from being sacked, and that was in a non-social media era. He would have, if he was manager now, he would have been sacked by now before he even started that legacy that he got at Old Trafford. We just need to stop putting up with the drama queens we have. But people are always entitled to their opinions, Alexander. But I just think that's why I always try and get across on the network. We try balance. We try and be balanced. We're not rah 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 one way. We're not rah 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 the other way. We try and be balanced. I give you my. I'm honest. I'm willing to give him time. I think 10, 15 games is a fair amount of time. By then, any injuries, suspensions, you think people would have got sorted out a little bit, and people want to see an improvement. They want to see an improvement. I don't think we'll give him a full season. I'll be honest. If we're not looking good, I think they'll. Well, as I said, the way the club is set up now, it's easier to get rid of head coaches than it is to get rid of managers. I agree, no one is guaranteed to work, but and Joanne would not if the exactly. Totally right. I'm Loppy in. I don't think the modern game will allow him time. Got to let him have their meltdowns. Indeed, is communication a problem with the manager, head coach, another £1? You're racking them up today, Ralph. That's £2 I want to see in the food banks now. Quite possibly. I mean, even during some of the press conferences, definitely one on Thursday, there were several times where he turned to his translator some of the questions, which was the first time I saw him do that. But anyway. Results, performances have to start improving their results. Can wait a handful of games, maybe. I think they can beat. I think for me. I think if you're not getting the results and the performance, I think Moyes was around a lot longer because he was getting results, not great results sometimes, but was getting results over performance. I think you need to get if we play, with the exception of that Man City game where we lost and everyone was reasonably confident. If we have a good game against Brentford and lose, people go, I've lost to Brentford. So actually, I agree, but it's the other way around for me. And I think we need to get some results and get some points on the board. And that gives Lopetegui a bit more breathing space to then improve the performance. Because, we'll be further up the table. And despite the fact everyone wanting, this, better football, we don't want to be on the wrong end of the table. We don't. It's not nice being a fan and having to scroll down and look at the bottom of the table. But if we're on the first page, and performances improve, I think then most fans will be happier with that. I totally agree. Yep, totally agree. At least we're not Everton. Been saying the same. Russ, people panicked after 5 games but handed a bunch of strangers needs time. As I said, 22 player swing in terms of players in and players out in the squad. That is huge. That is almost a whole squad. You tell me a manager or a head coach would be able to get it to go just like that. I don't think there is. Even a Pep would need time to get something going, and I think, I think the issue is because we've had to do that. It's almost like we've had to rip the plaster off, had to rip the Band-Aid off, and it needed a major. It needs probably another half of that next year to get the squad where it was. And who's that for? That was the previous regime. Older players on big contracts, players who were sort of coming to the end of their usefulness and were kept on for far too long. We've had to have a clear out. We've had to rip that Band-Aid off. We've done that now. So this is the slight pain we're going through now, but I am confident that will change. Everyone's talking to each other. Earthy and Downs might be better for backup. Or Downs is not here. We sold him. Time for the fan base to back the present manager and forget the past. But we don't, Michael. We still talk about the boys of 86. We still talk about John Lowes, and which we should do because that's our history. But you can't compare like for like. In a weird way, in a social media world, John Law might not have been around for as long as he would. He got relegated. In a modern football, the relegated manager usually gets sacked, and he was relegated. Don't forget we won 1980 in the 1980 World Cup, FA Cup, when we was in the lower league. We was in essence the championship. So, that happened a couple of times under his tenureship. If you're a sugar babe, more people would push the button. Very good, Peter. How long has it taken you to do that? Personally, I'd never want Moyes back. I want gone. But oh my God, never. There we go. The midfield needs a Kefir Tradam. Didn't he move? Hasn't he gone to? Didn't he go to AC Milan? I know he was linked. I think he was linked with us. Because I think he went towards the end of the. He's a good player as well. Is he going to AC? Juventus. Is it Juve? Yeah, missed out on him. There's a few we missed out on, but again, were we generally interested in him? I don't know. I think, to be honest, I kind of miss Declan Rice in this setup, to be honest, because you need that sort of constant in that midfield, which we haven't got. And I think last year we sort of, maybe because we had the constant of the squad and the setup and the management, so we didn't really miss Declan Rice as much last year than we do this year, in all honesty. And I don't, he did what he did. He left, but I think we sort of do. I think if you had him in the centre, I think we'd have had probably a couple more results so far, or there would be the transition wouldn't have been so dramatic. I'll give him this season. We'll finish where we finished, be a bit higher with a high line. Slots back into a back three isn't working. They look confused. Drop the CDM and get the shape and zonal back. How long you asked? 2 weeks ago, said John. There we go. Paqueta desperately needs to be less wasteful, and I think that shows up when we're not playing well. He's always been wasteful on the ball, but when you're not playing well, we need the goal, we need the game, we need the ball, and you're not getting it because he's lost it. I mean, as I said yesterday, Wednesday, Alvarez lost the ball. Was it 16 times? Where's my stats? Was it 16 times? Sorry, 10 times he lost possession, which is a lot. And I think Suchek lost the ball half a dozen times as well. And every game is tough. We need 6 points next 2 games. I would start Ings up front. Don't think so. It's going to happen, mate, to be honest. Generally think the problem is the formation. Interesting. 2 up front, maybe. Do you think the Spanish mentality isn't working in the Premier League? Well, Emery, Arteta, Iola, there's other managers in there, so I wouldn't think. Done with Wisconsin. 3 games save his job throughout the season. Get rid of Lopetegui out now before it's too late. Not going to happen, mate, is it? Let's be honest. I've been saying we have to give him time, but nothing's different from the last 2 years. Del Boy was in the Nag's head. He would say Monch 2, me Moyes 2. Please say I'm wrong. This is my one and only comment. Here we go, everyone. Sky. This is Damien's only comment today. I've come to the conclusion that Kudus has to play in a 10 anytime he isn't moving forward. Mate, everyone, I think that is his best position. Because at the moment, he's wasted on the left-hand side. What does he do? The first thing he does, cut inside. So, I don't think that works. So I think him as a 10, that's where I'd put him tomorrow. I don't think he will, but that's where I'd put him tomorrow. Make a good point. Some Geordies are piss hard to understand. Very true. There's something to be said about consistency. It will take time. Pep would put legs in a team and wouldn't have Suchek in there. 22 players swings a poor excuse. 8 at start lane. Well, yeah, shit. And as I think, for me, part of that reason was, I think, a bit of confusion about the existing players, because it's almost like they're playing the way they were taught for the last 4 years, and it's had it drummed into them. Whereas the likes of Kilman isn't playing like a Moyes centre half. Kilman's always on the front foot, always looking for the ball. He'll drive it forward. He'll put someone like Somerville giving the ball, run down the line. Soler, I wouldn't say Soler was playing as a holding centre midfield, like a Moyes midfield. He was trying to make things happen. Irvine was trying to make things happen when he came on. I generally think it's what's holding us back is actually some of the starting 11 from last year, who are almost playing like they're playing under David Moyes. Primarily Suchek, I'll be honest. Baffles me about our back 4, built from there. We all have known this. Indeed. Well, hopefully, I think we'll see that tomorrow. Latest all, take care, Michael. I'm waiting for the postman to post your signed picture, so you should get that early next week. It's the FIFA generation, Russ. The Premier League have tailored football to the little sods. No more long ball and a soggy pie. You are Julien Lopetegui. How long do you give it? Fans are being asked to be patient. What about the boss? How long does he expect it to be? Good shout. It's actually madness when the blame is squarely on the coach, surely the players. I mean, you go for the team. I think Emmy hasn't had a great start to the season. I think Kilman's played well. Mavropanos hasn't played well. I think Wan-Bissaka's shown a couple of good games, a couple of poor games, but I think it's when he's changed his position. When he plays right back, I think it's better. Bowen probably hasn't been as effective as he's used to. Why is that? Paqueta, Alvarez hasn't played well, I don't think, since coming back. I still think there's a slight injury still there, or lack of fitness. Kudus has played well, but hasn't scored for seven games, I think it is. 7 Premier League games, which is very unlike him. Seems to be trying to do too much on himself. Antonio hasn't scored in the last 8 Premier League games. So, I don't think anyone's coming out of this particularly smelling of roses, apart from maybe Matt Skillman, to be honest. Russ does not need help changing team set up. We do, and I think I think there's that transition, and now I think we're seeing bits more. So for me, Somerville keeps his place. Somerville totally deserves to start left wing. If that's the case, we're going to put Kudus. Bowen for me is more effective on the right wing, not up front. I think he's too small. He's not much of the way we're set up. We need a battering ram up front. So for me, Kudus plays at 10. Bone on the right. And then one CDM with Alvarez, but obviously he's going to play some Rodriguez. And then one of Paqueta or Soler. I think Paqueta's probably more likely to get the nod. He's not going to go. And then, then he's still like Souček because Souček brings you in a goal. I think Andy Irvine deserves a run out. I think he's come on. Every time he's come on, he's looked tidy. He's looked progressive. I mean, he's as tall as Souček, so he can offer that as a aerial threat, but he's got more about him in terms of attacking sense. What the hell? Let's throw all the prams on the pram until the Champions League. Kudus needs to play in the middle. I agree. I blame the win. Oh, mate, it is awful at Hornchurch at the moment. Honestly, it's absolutely pissing me. Indeed, I keep saying it, Pete. Under 21s playing tonight. Chelsea under 21s, 7 p.m. Rush Green. I'll be on the 1s and 2s. Come down, couple of quid. I think it's free or something like that, or for season holders, or a couple of quid or whatever. Great. It'd be a good night. Good football. 4 out of 4 for the under 21s. Top of the league at the PL2. 100% record. Chelsea will be a good side as well. Last time in Chelsea play, I think we lost 3-1. I think it was last year, but they had a £15 million or £18 million striker who they bought from Brazil. They had David Washington. So there might be 1 or 2 of them as well. You never know. Might get the lesser spotted Luis Guilherme, but I don't think you will, to be honest. I think we signed the wrong J-Lo, Jenny from the block. There we go. Criminal playing Juliet and Tate. Sorry, Jesse from Tesco's. What I missed? Not much, lads. I blame Stuart Pearce. Should have scored that penalty. Yeah, indeed. You missed Damie's one and only comments. Not really. A bit of a damp squib, really, to my birthday. West Ham lost. People not well in the Budden household and surgeries and things like that. So not the best, I'll be honest. I'm not the best, but maybe this weekend will perk up a bit. Who knows? Moyes back to the Christmas. Yeah, usual shit. Yeah. Players are not fit enough to compete in the games. I agree. Problem is getting players in within the last few days. You're right. And I think we tried to do business early. And I think the reason we didn't do business we didn't do more business was because we're not in Europe. And I think we massively underplayed the effect of having European football for recruitment. Someone like Jean-Claire, for example. Jean-Claire wasn't coming to us for a month of Sundays. And then Juventus were dicking about. Then Juventus bought someone they were dicked about. And then we got him. If we was in Europe already, we'd have got Jean-Claire 2-3 weeks earlier, I reckon, at least. And that's probably the same with some of the other players. Now, there was something that's like Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, when he came in, because they were trying to get Mazzurri, and we put the bid in for Mazzurri to try and move that all around a little bit, and a few others. But for the majority sense, I think, we'd walked away from Somerville because Leeds wanted too much. But we came up with some good deals with them eventually. If fans can see Kudus, I have no idea. No idea why I can't, as the opposition will know nothing about him. Indeed. That's why I appreciate this channel. It's not all doom and gloom. Thank you. We try not to be. And as I said, we've got some cracking bits coming up soon for you guys. Channel members, Sebastian Schemmel, private live show next Wednesday. I think on the Thursday night for everyone, we've got an X-Hammer coming on as well. Got to confirm that. And then not next week, but the week after next, the international break, we have got a chef's kiss of a West Ham ex-player My Hammers 11 interview. I'm not going to say world exclusive because I'm not jazzed, but I haven't Googled it. I haven't seen this guy appear on other channels or any. I haven't heard from him probably since he retired. So you will love it. You love it. Yeah, I mean, look, where is Irvin's? That was Irvin's stats. Where is it? There we go. That was Irvin's stats for the Liverpool game. He was only on for 12 minutes, but still had 16 touches, 10 passes, all over the fucking place. Do you know what I mean? 100% pass accuracy, and he just looked like he wanted He wanted something. He wanted it. Do you know what I mean? Any special deals on Tesco's at the moment? They're good to know. The jury's out, but he's not far off. I only hope he susses it out for tomorrow. Me too. I mean, I think it was Ralph. I don't like this whole, because Moyes had like 3 games over his head for like 3 years, really. And it doesn't help anyone because you end up winning that 3rd game and you're back to square one again. So, the board are concerned, but every board should be concerned with how things are going, and unless you're top of the table, and even if you're like Arsenal, you want to be competing, and and so you would be concerned with results and performances. The longer it doesn't improve, the more pressure there'll be on Julien. Simple maths in it, really. Yep, all down the left. Rumours happen. Well, again, Peter, rumours, isn't it? Rumour has it. Am I the only one that thinks that Irving might be our best midfielder? I think he would be. I think he is your replacement for Thomas Suchek. He's not the most fashionable player, and that might be it, but I think he's great. The one thing we failed to do is get striker real quality, but even though the answer is not Ings, puts the ball in the net when he plays. Antonio don't. For me, Antonio is fantastic at that. His cameo against Liverpool was really good. If you look at his highlights from that cameo perspective, coming on for like 20 minutes, that's how he needs to be utilised. And for me, Falk starts when he's fit, batters centre arse for as a battery ram for 60 minutes. Antonio comes on, batters him even more. Don't forget to keep an eye. Indeed, keep an eye on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the West Ham Network Extra channel as well. Indeed, nice show. Sorry for the comments, but I'm passionate, mate. Colin, that's why we have these shows. If we all felt the same, right, the world would be a boring place. West Ham would be a boring place, and we'd all be, running through fields of wheat. I don't know, corn, barley. I don't know. And so that's what we do. But what I like, Colin, is we all have different opinions, but we're all respectful for each other, and that's the difference. Particularly, within other communities. I can't really comment on them, but our community, everyone, we have an open policy in terms of we let people talk and we let people have their views. I might not agree with your views, and you might not agree with my views, but we're respectful of each other, and that's when social media works. Strike a loan January. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe not even a loan. I know money's a bit, but the vernacular we're hearing from senior sources is we haven't got any money to spend in January. Money can be available. Money can move. And if I was trying to buy someone on the cheap, I wouldn't say we got shitloads of money in the bank. I think there's 2 possibilities. There's Yuri Alberto from Corinthians, and I think they could be a late move on Jonathan David. It might be a case of Jonathan David that we get a pre-contract agreement and sign him in the summer. In the summer, you've got the likes of Antonio leaving, potentially Danny Ings. So we need to freshen up that striking options anyway. Patman Kadu should never be playing Moyes ball. There we go. Next interview, Russ. Isn't Moyes? No, it's not Moyes. It isn't Moyes. I thought it was you. You made a good point. We're still hungover by winning the World Cup. Indeed. Do you have plans for this year's Advent calendar? Maybe we'll do a celebrity. I don't know if we've got enough play. Yeah, we should do. Yeah, we could do. Yeah, I reckon we could do. I'm trying to get a few more sign up for the end of end of the year, so we'll see. Sort of okay winning the minute he started losing, he lost the fans' respect. A bit like Thomas Suchek. When Thomas Suchek stopped scoring goals, then people start looking at other aspects of his game. Right, chef's kiss there indeed. So unfortunately, we don't have mobile CF that can hold the ball in midfield. Kudus must play in the middle. We'll wait and see. I have a picture of Russ running through the field. What thinking? I can't remember. When do the voodoo dolls get delivered for sale? Well, good point. I tell you what. It's mines. Available now. Link in somewhere up in the chat. I might put the link in again. And if you left, is it usually the right ingredients to mail a decent? Is it? It's just using the right to mail a decent cake. What? Loppy's level of English is appalling. Should be no excuses. Got your team tomorrow. Irvine like it. But we got, in my humble opinion, was the most. Lanzini missed out on when we signed Lanzini. Obviously, we had him alongside Payet, and that was for me the best time of Lanzini in terms of his career at West Ham. When he got injured, by the time he got back, Payet wasn't there, and he was seen as the diamond, the West Ham, rough diamond, and I think it was too much for him to take, and he was never back the same person, in my opinion. Loppy is the West Ham Avram Grant. If he's on a free summer, we have no chance. But we do have a chance of getting in there quick with a pre-contract agreement, or even getting him cheap from Lille on a pre-season. With 6 months left in his contract. Bad performance, 3 points important tomorrow, and confidence grows. I just think we need some points. I'll take a draw. I'd obviously prefer a win, but I'll take a draw tomorrow. Tripped over Loppy's crutch. I mean, that was brilliant, weren't it? Lopetegui to get injured, being angry. Forest took time there. Look at their playing. Falkirk to be added to yet another striker. Balls up. Tammy Abraham, AC Milan, ain't he? He's staying. He moved to AC Milan, didn't he? So you're not going to get him. No chance. Has until Christmas to turn it around and start getting a tune. I think we need 4 points. 4 to 6. Yeah, I think so, Baron. I honestly think 4 is a minimum. Well, it should be a minimum. We'll wait and see. Anyway, peeps, we have got tonight's Irish Tommy, the Late Late Show. Lopetegui bullying needs to stop, says Irish Tommy. So he'll be talking about that. And we'll have Hammers headlines later on. I'll do the older match review coming out of the game tonight for the under-21s. And then we have starting 11 show tomorrow. We have Match Day Live, the review show, all that decent stuff. 5 things we've learned from the match. Hopefully 5 things we learned from beating Brentford. And then Monday we'll probably do the old ratings rather, and the Academy show and stuff like that. And as I said, I think Wednesday we've got Sebastian Schemmel doing the members only live show. And then Thursday we should have Paul Konchesky. Should have Paul Konchesky on the channel on Thursday night for the main channel for everyone. And as I said, then the following week we should have a lovely ex-player interview who I am so excited to have this player on. So excited. Was a very underrated player during his... Well, not underrated, he wasn't. He was revered. But he's one that tends to now go under the radar a little bit because we had so many great players, but he was a fantastic player. And I can't wait for you guys to hear his story. He's a lovely guy as well. He's got a lovely family as well. So let's show me about 10 o'clock I think tonight. So although I probably haven't put it in properly yet, I have to check what time I put it in for. I thought I did that. Maybe I haven't done it yet. I'll put it up anyway. It'll be about 10:30. But anyway, it's not Boogers. Boogers actually commented on my birthday to say happy birthday. We've had Diamante on before. We're getting back on. Not Nigel Coker. We've had him on. This is a new person we haven't had on, and I'm sure you'll very much enjoy it. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. Stay humble. Keep the faith. Get your mugs. Much love.